Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. On today's English lesson, we're going to learn about Jeff Bezos, and I have a story we are going to read. And throughout the story, I will pause and explain keywords and phrases to help improve your English fluency. I hope you're ready for some learning and laughter. Let's dive into today's story. Jeff Bezos did not become famous overnight. His journey began long before Amazon existed, back when he was a young boy who loved to experiment with gadgets and machines. So, someone who experiments, they actually do test on different things. So remember back in grade school when you would mix colors together to make one color, and in order to get the color you desired, you had to do an experiment. You had to test one color with another color to see if it produced blue or red or green. So an experiment is a test to come to a certain conclusion. Born in 1964, Jeff grew up with an intense curiosity that often pushed him to take things apart to see how they worked. So, someone that is curious, they're always wondering or trying to answer different questions that they may have. While other kids played outside, Jeff was busy building small electrical devices, showing signs of his early ambition that would later shape his future. So it sounds like Jeff was very intuitive as a child. He was someone who liked to work with his hands, someone who liked to get things done. Okay. Now, when it describes him as having ambition, that means he was the type of person that understood he had purpose and he wanted to fulfill a goal. Okay. He was very ambitious. He was striving to achieve something. As he got older, Jeff developed a strong passion for learning. In high school, he excelled in math and science and was known for his innovative projects. Okay? Something that is innovative, it's advanced. Okay? Something that most people probably wouldn't think of. We call it being cutting edge. After graduation, he attended Princeton University, one of the most prestigious schools in the country. Something that is prestigious is very honorable. Okay? A very honorable school here in the United States. There he studied computer science and electrical engineering, fields that required precision and patience. So someone that is precise, they're very calculated. Okay? We like to call that type of person a perfectionist. Okay? They like to have things done a certain way by a certain time. They are very precise. Even then, Jeff's classmates described him as extremely focused, a person who never did anything halfway. After college, Jeff worked on Wall Street, where he helped companies use technology in new and efficient ways. Okay? Something that is efficient is a productive way, something that is more impactful, a better way. Wall Street is a street in New York where people go to make money. Okay? So it's usually called the financial district in New York. And so Wall Street has to do with making money. So you'll hear the phrase, we're going to take it from Wall Street to Main Street. So we're going to take it from the business makers to the common person. Okay. He was paid well, but felt something was missing. Deep down, Jeff sensed that the future belonged to the internet, which was still young at the time. One day, he read a report that said internet use was growing at an extraordinary pace or rate. Let's read that again. One day, he read a report that said internet use was growing at an extraordinary rate. And let me pause and say, sometimes when you're reading English or speaking English, if you make a mistake, you just do like I did. You go back and you say it again. This single moment sparked a bold idea, an idea that many people would have considered ridiculous. So something that is ridiculous is crazy. What? You're going to charge me that ridiculous price? An outlandish or crazy amount. But Jeff saw an opportunity. He decided to quit his high-paying job and start an online bookstore. His friends thought he was making a mistake. Some even warned him he was throwing away his future. So when someone throws away their future, they're saying, look, you're messing your life up. But Jeff believed that taking calculated risk was part of achieving something remarkable. Something that is remarkable is outstanding. Something that will make people ooh and ah. Something that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. Something that is very remarkable. With a supportive family and a reliable car that barely worked, Jeff drove across the country, planning his new business along the way. In 1994, he founded Amazon in his garage. At first, he packed books himself, using his own hands and limited supplies. See, that's what we describe as getting it out the mud, okay? Jeff was getting it out the mud. He started his business in a car garage. Nobody believed in him. He was packing his own books, taking his own orders. He had to do everything himself. And so one phrase we describe that type of person is someone who is dogged. Okay, they are resilient. They are getting it out the mud. But Jeff had a clear vision. He wanted Amazon to become the everything store. Okay, everything was there for everyone. A place where people could buy anything they needed with just a click. To reach that goal, he was known for being extremely relentless. Okay, remember I said dogged means to be relentless. Pushing his team to work hard, think creatively, and never settle for average. So he did not want his team to be mediocre. I don't want you to be like everyone else. Let's be trendsetters. The early years were not easy. Amazon made many mistakes, and some investors doubted the company would survive. Isn't that how it is in life? When you start out, it's the hardest. Okay, so if you're just starting English or you've been doing it for a few months or a year, it's difficult in the beginning, but you must keep at it. Still, Jeff kept expanding the business, adding new categories like electronics and clothing. Over time, his strategies paid off. Amazon grew faster than anyone expected, becoming one of the world's most influential companies in the world. So his company became a trendsetter, okay? Powerful. When you're influential, you have power. And Jeff Bezos has some power. Jeff's leadership style was sometimes controversial or filled with problems. Some people admired his bold ideas while others criticized his demanding expectations. However, Even his critics agreed that he had an uncanny ability to see the future before others did. So someone that can see the future before others, we call them visionaries. Okay? His focus on long-term success over short-term comfort helped Amazon introduce major innovations like Prime Delivery, Kindle ebooks, and cloud computing. Okay? So let me just say, Amazon has been a game changer for so many people. In other words, Amazon has become a thing of comfort and ease for people to order things that they need and desire. So it's amazing to see him come from humble beginnings and have such a global impact. As Amazon rose, so did Jeff's reputation. He became known as one of the most visionary entrepreneurs of the modern era. His story inspired thousands of young leaders to think big and act boldly. Despite his incredible wealth, he often spoke about the importance of persistence, the ability to keep moving forward even when obstacles appear. And if you remember, I used in the title the doggedness of Jeff Bezos. So persistent, relentless, someone that's determined, never gives up. That is someone that is dogged. In 2021, Jeff stepped down as CEO of Amazon to focus on new passions, including his space company, Blue Origin. He believed that humanity's bright future let's read it over. He believed that humanity's future might one day expand beyond Earth, a belief that showed his trademark habit of thinking far ahead. Jeff Bezos' story reminds English learners and dreamers everywhere that success rarely happens by accident. You have to have a plan, a vision, and a goal, and some elbow grease, as we say, willing to put in the hard work. It is built through risk-taking, hard work, and the courage to follow ideas that others might call impossible. Someone that is a risk taker is someone that does something that may cost them harm or loss, but they do it because they believe it will have an impact or great effect. It is built through risk-taking, hard work, and the courage to follow ideas that others might call impossible. And above all, it shows that even the biggest companies in the world can begin in a simple garage powered not by money, but by imagination. In other words, you can have an idea and bring it to pass if you put the work in. So that's my story today about Jeff Bezos. I have given you at least 10 vocabulary words and definitions that you can practice. If you can't remember all of them, I highlighted them. Go back and watch today's lesson over again. And I know it will help strengthen your comprehension and your vocabulary word usage. Hey, I have other channels here on YouTube. You can check the description. If you like my style of teaching and reading, make sure you check those playlists out to help you improve your English. And if you have enjoyed today's lesson, make sure you share it with a friend. Until next time, I hope you join me on my next English lesson. I'll see you then.